Yeah, it's CC, the CEO. Wanna change your life? Come see me, yo. I'ma teach you how to build up wealth for your family, not just for yourself. I'm a bestseller, a house flipper, a businesswoman, a go-getter, a big investor, a gold builder that could teach you to get richer like millions, baby. You really about to fill your savings. You about to have multiple streams to pass your children, baby. Let me teach you to get your credit on track in the long run. You'll make it all back at Catalyst and watch it all psychology black-owned firm, but we ain't all black.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your girl Constance Carter tonight, and I'm super excited. We got some real good conversation for you. So for everybody who tunes in every night at 6 o'clock Pacific time and 9 o'clock Eastern time, you know I'm always going to bring the heat for you. I'm always going to give you something that's going to enhance your life in one way or another. And so tonight is not going to be like any other night because I got some special guests. But before we go there, before I talk about the special guests that we have coming on tonight, because I'm super excited about it, I can't wait to talk to you about this, because an entanglement is a very, very serious issue. So I don't know how many married people out there. If you're married, go ahead and type in the chat box that I'm married. If you are single, oh my God, the numbers are climbing. There are so many people on here tonight. If you're single, type in the box that I'm single. If you're single and you want to be married, type in the box that I'm single and I want to be married. If you just want to stay single, type in the box that I'm living a single life. So if you married, kings and queens, type in the box that you married. But, okay, all right, big love. Okay, a lot of single people on here. Okay, oh, single. All right. So while we're doing that, I want to make sure that you guys are subscribing to Fly Nubian Queen TV on YouTube. I want to make sure that you are setting your alerts so that every time I come on, or every time anybody from the channel comes on, you can get an alert to know that we coming on, because you know we're going to give you some content that you can use. All right. We want you to talk black to us. And then I want you to go over to Nobody Works Harder Than Constance Carter. I want you to go to the Facebook page, and I want you to go to the YouTube page and make sure that you subscribe and follow those pages as well, because every single night I'm going to bring you some heat. And tonight is going to be the exact same. And I'm seeing all these people in here single, and I want to be married. I'm single. I've been single for 6 months. I'm married. Erica Danielle says she's single and wants to be married. There's so many people on here that are single. Candace said it depends on the day whether or not I want to remain single. I hear you, girlfriend. I'm just polling y'all. Don't ask me no questions. But tonight we got some very, very special guests, and they're from all different walks of life. We have some married folks, we have some single folks, we have some engaged folks, and we're going to talk about some things that, you know, if you got kids, you might want to have them go into the next room, because this is a grown folks only conversation. This is all about Black love and Black love relationship goals. So if you are looking for Black love, or you have relationship goals, you need to tune in tonight and join this conversation, because this is an interactive conversation. This is a dialogue and not a monologue. So I'm not here just for you to watch us. We want you to engage as well. So we want you to give us your opinions as well. For all the people who are single and want to be married, it's somebody out there for you. For all the people who are single and want to stay single, you know, do the damn thing. And for all of those who are happily married, good for you. It takes a lot. It takes so much to stay married. It takes work. It takes setting intentions. It takes being on the same page. And if you are not there, then it's not going to work. So let's do this. Let me stop talking. And for all you single people, well, before we do that, I'm gonna do a Q&A next Tuesday, and we're gonna talk about investing in multi-unit properties. We're gonna talk about that next Tuesday at 5 o'clock p.m. And so if you have not subscribed to ConstanceCarterVIP.com, make sure you go over there and subscribe, because I got some straight up nuggets that you can use so that you can start building your wealth. But today I want to have a little fun and talk to some folks about how to avoid entanglements, how to stay married, how to stay in a relationship, how to stay committed. And then if you guys want to join us and let us know, give us some tips on what's kept you in your relationship as long as it has, please do so. So we're going to bring some folks on here. Come on, so let's get them on. We got Erica. We got Dennis and Melinda. We got Stay and Wallace. And we got my main man, Dexter. Woo! Oh, my gosh. We about to have some fun tonight, you guys. So I just came back from Puerto Vallarta to celebrate our friend Tommy's 50th birthday, and it was one of the most fabulous birthday parties I had ever been to. Right, right, guys. So all of these beautiful men and women, we were all there celebrating Tommy, and it was such an awesome event. Erica had put on this amazing party for Tommy, and so we all met there. We engaged. We had a really, really good time. And we talked about some of the things that we're going to talk about tonight. So let's go. Erica, tell me your status. Tell us your name and what's your status.
I am single, soon to be engaged.
Soon to be engaged, soon to be married.
Yes, soon to be married too.
Are you not engaged yet?
No, not yet. It's coming very soon, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Dennis and Melinda.
Hello.
Hey. So what's your status?
Married 21
Yep.
years.
Okay, they're the OGs of the group. All right, that's what's up. All right, Stay and Wallace.
We are married for like 7 years.
7 years.
Oh, 7 years. That's what he said. 7 years
You don't
married.
even know. That 7-year itch. Okay. What's up? And Dexter.
Single.
Single. Have you ever been married, Dexter?
Enjoying my life, man. Enjoying everything that comes with it.
Okay. All right. Let's get them all on the screen together. I want them to stay on the screen. I don't know if I really want to move them around. I just want them to kind of stay on the screen because I want to have I want to engage in a great dialogue with all of them, and I want them all to be able to talk. So let's talk about, Dennis and Melinda. You guys are the OGs. You guys have been married the longest. Hey, Tommy. All right, wait. Let's bring Tommy and Erica on the screen because this is Erica's significant other, and she just told me something I was really surprised about. She said that she was single.
That is, you asked me what was my status. I said that I was single, soon to be engaged. And you said, you mean married? And I said that too.
So, Tommy, can you clarify Erica's status?
Okay, so for the people watching, Erica is an attorney, so she's extremely literal. But let her try to go out with somebody. I'm not that mature. We're gonna have a misunderstanding. So from a technical standpoint, okay, she is still single because she has not taken my last name or she hasn't abbreviated her name. But no, boo, she is like, yeah, you saw my face, Miss Kelly. That's right, my face though. That's right. Yeah, she all the way off the market, player. Okay, yeah. And for any brother out there looking, she ain't got no sister, she ain't got no twin, she ain't got no cousin, none of that. So yeah.
So, but I was surprised that she didn't say that she was engaged because I thought she was engaged.
See, there you go. You was in Puerto Vallarta. See, there you go.
That's what I thought. So I was a little taken aback. So let's go to the OGs of the group. Dennis and Melinda. So how have you been able to stay married so long? Because 21 years is a long time.
I'm gonna let him answer that one.
Okay.
Just understanding each other and knowing that no one's perfect. Everybody's gonna make a mistake, so you got to have that grace for each other.
Okay, that's a great answer. So that grace meaning those times when she really pisses you off. You want to, uppercut her, give her a couple to the kidneys. You don't do that because she's perfect.
Yeah, you got to remember that you're gonna have more better times than bad times. So you always remember that. Hey, you're gonna have some bad times. You have to understand you're gonna have some bad times.
Okay.
Things are gonna go wrong, and you expect those things to go wrong. But when you came to an agreement, how y'all gonna tackle those things? That's a good thing, because when it happens, and if you never had that conversation to say, this is how we're going to resolve things.
Yeah.
Know how to resolve conflict.
Let me ask you something. Since you guys have been together so long, so those butterflies that you had in the beginning of the relationship, are they still there?
I said they are, because we work together. So, I mean, being with each other all the time, sometimes you think that it's just about work. But just about a year ago when I went home and I went by myself, because I'm from South Carolina, so she's here in Texas. So then those butterflies, you can really tell, like, man, I really miss my wife, because I'm with her every day, all the time. So you take that for granted. But then we was apart for like a week.
2 weeks, actually.
2 weeks, and it seems like a year. I'm like, wow.
It was our actual first time being away from each other for that long period of time. We had never been away from each other for 2 weeks at one time, not seeing each other, only talking to each other on the phone since we've been married.
In 21, that's what'll keep you married for sure. So, staying Wallace, what about for you? Those butterflies, are they still there for you after 7 years?
Oh yeah, he's so fine. He blow my mind. Like I have every time he walks in the room, like I literally follow him around the house, right? Because I work from home most of the time, and he has to go out to work. And when he comes home, I meet him at the door like Edith Bunker, and then I follow him around the house. Yeah, I'm so excited.
Okay.
What about for you, Wallace?
Yeah, those butterflies are definitely there. We'll just be sitting together somewhere, and I just be staring at her and just like, man, I can't believe she's my wife, and just loving that. And like I said, just warms my heart each and every time. So, and she's like, why are you staring at me? I said, I can't just look at you.
Oh, that's so
good. Wallace, you got some points tonight, Wallace. Okay.
Thank you.
Let me ask people in the audience, because if you've been married over a certain period of time, you got the OGs that have been married 21 years. They say they still have the butterflies. You have the not so newlyweds that still have butterflies. Like, do y'all still have butterflies for if you've been married over 5 years? Do you still have butterflies for your significant other, or have they gone away? Tell us. Deck, how come you are single? You've never been married?
I've never been married.
Why?
It was not in the cards. Everything is about timing.
Okay.
And I've met some of the right people at the wrong time. And then I met people that probably didn't match up with me well, but it was at a good time. And we just had to come to an agreement and understanding. Our trajectories were different.
What's somebody saying?
Who is it? Where was it? I wish I could believe y'all lying asses.
Oh, we all know each other so well.
For 25 years, my butterflies were replaced by something else. I want to know what's better than the butterflies. I mean, So for you, what made you fall in love? What was that thing about Tommy that made you fall in love with him, Erica?
It will be his heart. Tommy has a huge heart.
Okay.
He loves me perfectly.
Ooh, he loves.
I love being with him. He pushes me in areas where I need the most help. He challenges me, but not in a way where I feel like I'm being attacked. So I would say all those things. I mean, and I can go on and on.
What made you fall in love with her, Tommy?
Man, I say this all the time. Constance, I'm 6'3", and Erica is 4'11", and I always say I never would have thought somebody so small could take up so much space in my life. And Dexter and Dennis and Melinda can attest to this. I've in the past, I'll say this, I've tried to put together Frankenstein. I would take different attributes from various women that I liked, and when I wanted that attribute to appear, I would spend time with that person. And Erica is the first person in my life that takes up all my space that I don't need anybody else.
So you was a player?
Yeah. Well, no, I didn't say that. Now I didn't say I was a player. I just said that, the options that were afforded, I took advantage of them. Let's say that.
That's beautiful. So staying Wallace, what made you fall in love with each other? What was it about Wallace when you seen him in the pulpit? What made you fall in love with him?
Well, first of all, that's not the first place I saw him, or this would never have happened.
Okay.
Because that was one of the things that I was completely against, was ever dating a preacher or a pastor and all that comes along with that. And so what I love about Wallace and I and our story is the fact that we kind of literally fell in love, meaning that we didn't even know it was happening. We were friends. Our sons were friends in high school. They ran with the same group of kids, and we would see each other often. And he was just kind of my homeboy, so I thought. And he liked me, but I made it very clear that I was not interested in entertaining a serious relationship at the time. And then all of a sudden one day, I kind of just woke up with those butterflies.
With the butterfly. Okay.
You know what, Tommy? You have your mind. But yeah, so that's what made me fall in love about Wallace. The short of it is his friendship and the companionship and the way I was able to trust him and let him into my life and be completely vulnerable without any worry. So that's what made me fall in love with it, the fact that he could be such an awesome friend. And so until this day, despite the marriage, whatever, first and foremost, he's my best friend.
Oh, that is so sweet. What about you, Wallace? What would you say?
I was trying to look.
It was mainly just her personality. When you meet someone who's very nurturing, has a huge heart for just wanting to be people and just want to help people. And that was one of the first things that really attracted me, besides she's gorgeous. But that was one of the first things that attracted me to her, just her heart and her personality. And we would just sit up and have conversations that would just go on and on. And at one point, and I tell this story quite often, that it seems like I didn't think I had a shot. We decided we'd just be friends with her. So we just be friends, and that kind of grew into something else, and something that turned out so beautifully that God put together. And man, it's just been wonderful. And like I said, just her heart and her love for people, her love for wanting to help people. That's one of the biggest things that attracted me to her.
That is awesome. So, a lot of times women, well, both men and women, they like to send their representatives, right? Yeah. And what, had you guys seen that? And did it kind of play out at some point? Dexter, when you date women, do they send their representatives? And then when you get to know them, is that why you haven't found the right one? Because, they seem to be great at first, but then it kind of fizzled away. What's your thoughts on that?
It's unfortunately mostly the representative. And then you spend all this time engaging and letting yourself be free and have a great time and try to show them a nice time. But then when they finally share with you what their requirements are, what their needs are, you've not had a chance to adjust to anything because they've kept it from you, either from their fear, insecurities, or just not being able to acknowledge what they want from you up front. And so you don't have a chance in the beginning to start on an even path for both of you. And so your trajectory becomes odd. It's off balance. You're not sure what she really wants now. Now she's telling you what she wants, but all you were trying to do is say, let's just have a good time and get to know each other. I don't need nothing from you. You don't have to give me anything. But those representatives will unfortunately murky the waters. It just makes it unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah, for you, Tommy. I mean, since you guys are the young G's in out of the group, right? Because you're not yet married. But how long have you been dating?
About 18 months.
Okay, so 18 months. So you still has anything kind of fizzled off, or is he the same person he was the day that you met him, Erica?
The same exact person.
So nothing's changed. So if he was sending you flowers in the beginning, he's still sending you flowers. If he was,
it is intensified, I would say.
Really? True love. I love it. So Dennis and Melinda, you guys have been married 21 years. And of course, there's ebbs and flow with every marriage. There's ups and downs, peaks and valleys, and all of that, all of those things. How are you been able to manage avoiding entanglements?
Wow.
21 years.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I'm a committed person. No matter what type of relationship I'm in, it takes me a while to get into relationship. And so I didn't just meet him on a whim and decide, okay, this is where we're going. We actually dated for a while before we got married. So we had a chance to see each other in different ways. So I knew after like dating and going through a few things together. Now there were some challenges at the very beginning, and so just kind of working those things out, and we became friends, kind of like Stan Wallace, but we didn't start out necessarily as friends. We just kind of dated, kept in touch with each other, and so once I'm committed, I'm committed. So I don't really get out of relationship. I'm not looking to get out of relationships. And so I know that he's my friend. We work together. We work in the same building. We're not always in the same office, but we're in the same building. But when we leave the office, we don't drive to work together often. But when we leave the office, we still call each other on the phone and talk to each other on our way home. Like, we want to know, how was your day? What'd you do today? Because we're not always together. And so when I say that he's not only my friend, he's also my lover, I really believe that he's my friend. I can talk to him about anything. I can trust him with every area of my life. I may not always agree or want to hear his advice, but I do respect it because I know it comes from a good place. So I'm never looking for somebody to replace him. I'm not thinking about, okay, if it doesn't work out with him, this is what I'm going to do. Now, I'm not saying I haven't said, okay, I can do this by myself, because sometimes that comes up because my flesh gets in the way. But I'm not out looking for somebody that's better than him or vice versa. So,
yeah, that's great. You know, statistics show that men are the ones who step out in relationships the most. So there are going to be more men cheaters than there are going to be women cheaters. I mean,
I think a lot of the men, what they could say, what I always have in the back of my mind, what would it cost? What is the cost? Because when you do that, it's a big cost. Not only money, when you have a family, it's going to be a cost to your kids. It's going to be a cost to the family members on both sides. The cost is so huge, so you don't even go that route.
Yeah. So that's what's kept you unentangled. What about for you, Wallace? Because I want to direct this towards the men. Wallace, what kept you unentangled?
The fact that she is love snapped, and when I met her, that's what she was watching, and she's continued to watch Snapped, and what's the other one? Lockdown for Life or something. So she knows how to survive in prison. So that's been a couple of the main things. But no, it's the main thing of, you know, when you love someone, you care about someone, the last thing you want to do is be selfish and hurt them. Yeah. And that's one of the biggest things. I never want to see her hurt. You know, when we had arguments or something like that, disagreements or something, and to see her hurt or something like that just does something to my heart. And that's one of the biggest things I'd say is more to make sure she's taken care of and that she's happy. And, you know, and I don't want to take a chance on breaking up my home or anything like that. So, you know, I generally, when situations happen, I try to make sure there's no questionable comments or questionable thing where somebody say, oh, well, you said this to me. No, this is exactly what I said. And I said, you know, I'm happily married. This is who I am. So I try to avoid all those things, or, you know, those things that seem like though they may be something else. Yeah. So I find like that's the best way to do it. And just don't put yourself in that situation. That's where I said it.
Don't put yourself in that situation. Absolutely. What about you, Tommy? What's kept you faithful these 18 months?
Well, I think just understanding, kind of piggybacking on what Dennis said, counting the cost. And what happens to a lot of men, Constance, is we don't heal from previous relationships. And so what my commitment to Erica was, is I didn't want to bleed on her from wounds that she didn't cause. And I think a lot of times as men, we don't do the work to unpack all the crap that we bring to the relationship because we never dealt with it. And so I wanted to not be who I was. So the running joke between me, Erica, and Melinda is this Tommy 2.0 or this Tommy 1.0 that's talking? So I'm constantly being challenged by people that hold me accountable not to return back to what I was. That makes any sense. Because for me, the big thing was the emotional cheating in previous relationships. And it was kind of like I didn't want to, and this is a sports analogy, Constance. I didn't want to be Michael Jordan, who was number 23, but when he came out of retirement, he was number 45. and he was number 45 just to see if he still had it. And I think sometimes as men, we seek affirmation in the wrong ways. And like I said earlier, what Erica does for me is she's so small, but she takes up so much space that she doesn't leave room for anybody else. And so I've made a commitment to be content, not settle, but be content with just her.
Oh, that's beautiful. Dexter, what are you looking for in a woman? What's that? What's been missing for you?
Okay.
Why everybody got to laugh when it comes to me?
Well, I'm just thinking, like, that's almost like, a dating show. Like, what are you looking for in a woman, Dexter?
Laughing.
First and foremost, an intellect, curiosity, a drive, compassion, because people are very important to me. So I love to see a lady share herself with being compassionate towards those who really could use support, love, friendship. And it's a good, it's just having a circle of people around us that makes us happy about the life we have together that we can share with other people. But the representative part is very important, because a lot of women just don't realize damage they do to themselves giving a man a chance to interact with you and not know who you really are. And so when you finally try to give him who you are, he's been operating on the idea that what you've shown him so far is who you really were. And so then when you try to make sense of it, most men, like Tommy was saying, it's sensitive for most men to react to the sense that, you mean I've been dating you and I really don't know who you are? Now you try to tell me you want us to be married on a trajectory to do that, but you've never talked about it. You never opened up about it. Some of the pains of the past come in that some people don't want to talk about or address. But I look for someone to be able to be openly honest, and I don't want nobody just to say it. I want someone to be able to really live by that motto. If you are truly happy with your life and happy with yourself, we organically grow, and it makes me happier to be around a person who does that for me. So I enjoy being single and dating, but I'll be honest, I've been in love, and I truly know what that felt like, and it was really a beautiful thing, and I really, I'm affected by it, and I'm appreciative of it, but it's hard to find people who really want to let you in and give you a chance to get to know who they are.
Wow. Do you find that you like give yourself to, you find somebody, you find a woman and you're open and you're vulnerable, and then they end up changing up at some point?
So it's a combination of things. One, I'm really driven and I really wanted to create efforts of trying to help other people, but also be helped, to learn from those I feel I'm very impressed by, or those who I really have a high affirmation for. And I want a partner who wants to run with me, grow with me, do things with me. And I'll support her, because I'm not a person about competing with my partner. I'm not a person about taking from a woman her time, her efforts, and her acknowledgement in her space. Because if she's doing something more enlightening than I am, it would be my role to support her and give her the opportunity to shine. Because look, like Jordan, like any athlete we know, or any entertainer, we very well know the Denzel Washingtons and the Eartha Kitts of the world. Those are generational artists. But you're going to have a lot of artists who have a time period where we'll see them and they're hot, and then they're no longer a part of that environment. And so as couples and as partners, from behind the scene, we got to be this every day. This is not a 15-minute run. So I date because I really, like Tommy, I look for pieces of women who have things I like. Somebody likes a play, somebody likes movies, somebody likes to travel, somebody likes to go out and have a nice dinner. But if it was just embodied in a person and a majority of those assets were there and they were shown to me, so whatever her pain was, whatever her backstory is, what is so wrong with sharing it if you're creating a friendship? And what happens, people are sometimes afraid or still very angry at the last partner, and they just won't share it. And so you do all this damn work trying to make sure you show yourself. Because I tell it like it is up front. I'm single, I date. If you give me a reason for us to understand we should try something, let's do that. But in the meantime, I only got one life to live, and I'm gonna enjoy the hell out of this. But it's not trying to be a player. It's not trying to dog out nobody. I'm very respectful. No woman has to give me anything. I don't need sex from nobody. I don't need anything. But what I would like is an opportunity to get to know who she is, so we can know who we are. And if we manage to really find what these three couples have, or what they're working on, Tommy and Erica working on a beautiful story, if that's what we can do, well, damn it, let's do it. And if you need me to be the driver, damn it, I'll drive. But what I do need, I need a co-pilot who is absolutely a part of this journey. I don't need no damn body sitting in the back seat, then don't want to hear you tell her something she don't like. Let's do this together, and let's lift each other up. So when we went to this trip, the beautiful part of seeing the couples talk about each other, it was the compliments, it was the support, it was the acknowledgement, and it was the acknowledgement of the journey. It ain't all been easy, but it has been something worth fighting for. Most people run and they get scared, so I understand that.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And you know, I hear that from so many women. It's not often that I hear men talk so vulnerable. And it's a beautiful thing to hear, Dexter, because you don't often hear that from men. I talk to women all the time who want all of the things that you're saying, and they can't seem to find it in men. So you're actually a rare jewel, and dropping straight gems. So thank you for that. Let's talk about let's switch gears a little bit. Ooh, that was good. Anybody else got something to add to that? Anybody got anything to add to what Dexter just talked about?
I mean, he dropped the mic on that one. That was good.
Come on.
That's my brother right there. He said it.
Man. Right.
Dexter says, give you a show, Dexter. Dexter, they think you should have a show.
Emotionally intelligent.
Boy.
Dexter, you're going to be swiping right after this.
Come on, right.
Yeah, so Constance, let's look at it this way. All the people on our trip, all the men were willing to be transparent. Now that's hard for most men, and most women have a hard time getting a man to show his emotions and his feelings. Right. And when you have transparency, you have a brother really trying, right? Our faults, our issues, the things that we've been taught as men that we really recognize is very destructive. And so I thought to myself, I'm not lying no more. I'm not doing this. I'm not lying to nobody no more. If you want to have a good time and just have dinner, we can do this. But if you think we should do something more, we're adults. Let's figure that out. But don't do something and then later say, well, I gave myself to you and I thought you thought I wanted more, or we should do. We grown people. We're not children no more. Let's stop all this, because all you do is end up dating. We jump out of relationships, and all the pain you have from the last one you take with you. But as brothers, we were transparent on that trip. And I just thought, what we released is acknowledging a sense of growth, acknowledging a sense of being a beautiful person as a man, and knowing that I have sensitivities too. I have challenges my damn self, but I'm gonna try to be the strongest man I can be to help you, to support you. You're beautiful. You're beautiful as you are as a Black woman, but to be successful, to be strong, to be energized, to want to do more. A lot of men can't handle that. And a sister should run. That's a red flag. If you can't get a man to be on board with you and support you in whatever you do, and you can't support him, there's going to be difficulties. So I've been in love. I've had good relationships, but we just weren't on the same page at the same time. And I'll be damned if I'm going to settle. I'll be damned if I'm going to make somebody else unhappy because I'm unhappy. And I don't want her to be unhappy, but you got to say it. Just speak up on it. Take a chance.
Yeah. I tell you what, I mean, Dennis had kind of started the whole domino effect of all the men being vulnerable, tears and then, Tommy and Dexter and then Wallace, and then Stay was somewhere and she came down. She was like, what the happened? But it was such a beautiful display of, like somebody said, grown. Men being able to offer themselves and just be naked and sharing their truths. And, it's Black men. It's not often that you see that Black men being that vulnerable. So I absolutely love it. Let's talk about money, because that often is a stickler in a lot of relationships. Finances. the woman making more money than the man, or somebody being irresponsible with money. Like how are you able to cope with certain things like that? So, are all the men okay with the women making more money than them?
I know he is.
Y'all good with that? Everybody good with that? Tommy said no.
Tommy said no.
Tommy said good with that. Why not, sir?
No, I mean, it was so funny. I met Erica in August. So I was with a group of friends in July 4th weekend, the month before we met in 2019. And so it was a couple of women there that I actually coached. And so there was a young man there, and so he was dating this lady. His salary was roughly right around about 85,000, and hers was about 250. And so he had come to talk to these women, and he was like, "Look, I'm struggling trying to keep up, and I'm struggling from the standpoint of I'm dating someone who makes more money than me, and so I don't know what to do." So these women ranged in ages, Constance, from probably about 28 to about 45. So they were giving their perspective, about it. So one of the young ladies that I coached said, "Well, my coach is here. Let's ask Tommy." And so I was in the kitchen. So I came in and I was like, I was feeling myself that day. And I said, "Well, I've never dated anybody that's made more money than me, so I can't speak from that perspective. However, I would like to think that I would still be me. I would still be the leader in the relationship, because money is just one indicator, but it's not an indicator of leadership." And so I went down this whole long thing. And so a month later, bam, meet this one, and we start dating. And so it was funny in that regard. But I would say that was Tommy 1.0. But in a healthy, wholesome relationship, Constance, it's not an issue, because money is nothing more than a tool, and it only illuminates more of what you already are.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you are a player at $50,000 a year, and you taking in the captain D's, if your income increases and you at 150, then you're just going to be able to do more stuff. Okay. So what I love about me and Erica, even though we're not married yet, what we
What
do.
did you say, Erica? What did you just whisper to him? What did you just whisper to him?
What I love about Erica is that we consider it that whatever goes out, it impacts both of us. We had some people tell us, "Well, it doesn't matter. Y'all aren't married yet, so whatever she does, you need to." Oh, I know what it was. So not often, I don't allow her. Not often, but every now and then. I'm old school. I'm a Southern boy. When we go out to eat, she'll want to pay. Not often, but every now and then she will. And so we were out with some friends, and the friend was like, "Well, it doesn't matter. You should do this because she's paying." And I'm like, I don't look at it like she's paying. I don't look at it like her money, my money. Even though we're not married yet, I'm like, anything that happens to her, Dexter, it still impacts me. And I'm still fiscally responsible for her as well as me. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that, even though, quote unquote, he's paying this time. Mm-hmm. So money's not an issue.
Well, Constance, I have a story to tell on that. Honestly, I think a lot of men, to be truth about it, they want to make the most money. Yeah. And that's the perception of how most men are raised. And with my wife, when we were married, I'm just saying, she was in business before, and I was still in a 9-to-5. And that was a weight on my shoulder, because she could make more money with the commissions. And I was like, man, I've been working like the whole year, and in a couple of months, she done made more than I did the whole year. So my prayer was, Lord, let me make some more money. I mean, I did that for like years, and I think that's what pushed me into getting into business, because I wanted to make the type of money she was making. And my perception as a man, the way I grew up, was the man's supposed to make the most money. But as getting in a relationship and getting into ministry, I then understood that it's all one.
Yeah.
The money becomes one. And when you get in a relationship, if you don't get that in your relationship, that the money becomes one, you're always going to struggle, and you're always going to have disagreements, and you're always going to have issues. So you have to talk about that money issue, and you have to understand who's better with the money. Whoever's better with the money, let them handle the money.
Yeah.
Because everybody has their strength and they have their weakness. But with the money, you got to let that person who know how to handle that money, because if not, you won't be married for 21 years.
Okay, D. Okay, D.
And I do have something I wanted to add to that from the women's perspective. I think sometimes what causes a man to feel insecure in that financial piece is the way women can handle it, as far as feeling like if they're the one who makes the most money, then they wear the pants in the relationship. And from so many women coming from single mom homes where their mom had to hold it down, or they were a single mom for a while themselves before they enter into this relationship. And so they have that independence. I am woman, hear me roar. And so they want to take over all of it. And they feel like, well, this is my house, my car, I make the money. And so I think that's the part that can make a man feel uncomfortable, where if, like everyone has said, you're working as a team and it's about ours and not mine and yours, then it's not something that even comes up. Like Wallace and I don't really talk too much about individual incomes. We talk about what we have. What's in the savings? What's in the checking? What do we have to pay? It's us. It's not about, well, I put this in. But I think if, society and circumstances, unfortunately, over decades have made women feel like we have to take the lead. But I think if we're able to step back and be more vulnerable and be more in that submissive role, which so many of us think is a dirty word, then men could also be more comfortable, because no matter who's making the most money, as long as it's coming into that household, everyone should benefit.
True.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Yeah, it's got to be a collaborative effort. I mean, you can't just separate stuff. And I know some couples do that. That works for them. Everybody got separate bank accounts or whatnot. But if it's truly a team coming together, a collaborative effort, you'll be successful that way, because we share things that are going on. You know, we have certain things that we have in place, know what we need to take care of, when we need to take care of them. So we have that communication piece between us, because it's the halls first and then everybody else next.
That's what I would say. Oh, go ahead.
And I think that's true, but until that person gets to that point where they're honest, don't try to put it all together and you're not in agreement.
Yeah, you're right.
Get an agreement first.
Yeah.
Because if not, there's still complications just doing it just because. But you have to get to that point, or you're going to get to a point where you're going to have like a household income and then a separate income. But don't try to do it all at once if you're not doing it and you're not in agreement. Yeah. I would say get an agreement, and you got to have those communications with the money, and you need to get counseling from people who've already been through that, especially if you had totally two different levels.
I think it's just expectation, to be honest with you, expectation on finances and what you're looking at. So again, I think everybody on here has pretty much said that it all becomes one. But like for me, I came into the relationship being single for a while. So coming into the relationship, it was very, very hard for me to really bring it all together and not feel like I had to have this extra on the side. Like it took a long time, probably the first 7 years. I
think about 5 to 7 years before we even put everything together. Yeah. And we didn't even understand it biblically, because we just did it. We used to say,
we did it from fear, basically.
Fear. This is your bill. This is my bill.
Yeah.
And we did that for 5 to 7 years. But when we came as one and understood, like, this is the way it's supposed to work, then it became better.
Yeah.
But just don't do it immediately. You have to get some communication and some understanding from each side.
What about separate bank accounts?
Oh, yeah, we have that. Because you gotta give when you're married, you're gonna have to give your wife an allowance. You're gonna let her spend some money. And
You hear that,
and if
Tommy?
you-
Okay.
and-
You hear that, Tommy?
and if you have a member like my wife, you don't want her in the household account because you don't want to start bouncing bills and not paying the house. This
You
just
would not bounce bills, Dennis.
that's what it becomes, bouncing bills and everything. She just spends, she don't check. She just swipes the card.
So
I'm
does
really
it
not irresponsible. He's making it sound like that. I'm really not.
No, really though, you have to separate it and give them their freedom and let them spin out of there. And then once you talk about it, hey, if you do that, you're going to put us in a bad situation. Don't do that. But still, that's not enough. I already know her. She's
So
going.
Dennis, let me ask you this question. So I believe you are saying that you're supposed to have a joint account, and then you give your wife a she money account.
Yes.
Okay.
It's only a she money and a we money. It's no he money. Just FYI, guys.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
All right. I got it.
Yes, I agree, Melinda.
So does anybody else believe in separate accounts?
Yeah, we have separate. We have 3 accounts that are together. Then our business account, but then we do have some separate spending accounts, things like that. But mainly because when I want to do something for her, because she's very inquisitive, we'll say that word. And so when I want to do certain things,
Inquisitive. Wait, speak on that. Inquisitive. What does that mean?
It's hard for him to surprise me.
yeah,
Okay, got it.
it's like I can't order anything through Amazon.
That was his way of saying it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's always looking for different things, me to do different things. So we have separate things to do things like that, but that's really all I use our separate stuff for, unless something like that. But for the most part, everything else is together. And like I say, in a relationship, when we talk about trying to share different things, egos really have no place in a relationship.
Yeah.
You have to be able to get rid of egos. Egos will cause you more problem than anything. I know a lot of men, like some people are kind of alluded to a little bit about men wanting to be the provider, or the way we were raised and things like that. Once you get to a certain point, you have to check that at the door, because that's not going to be successful in your relationship. If you got an ego.
In this day and age, as much money as these women are making now, you can't have no ego. It's just impossible.
And the thing is, too, your income is driven most times or all the time by your line of work. And so maybe I chose to, go to school and be a brain surgeon, but my husband decided, he wanted to be a fireman. That doesn't make his job any less important than mine. Mine just comes with a higher income. So
Right.
How does what you make be the catalyst for what your relationship is, or even what your job is, or your career? I mean, a fireman is just important as a brain surgeon, in my opinion, but the financial piece of it is different. So why would you look down on that man just because what he chose to do, and even though he's doing a great job, it just doesn't provide the same income? And it doesn't mean that it shouldn't, because we know most of the time people in servant positions get paid the least, but they're doing the biggest job and helping the most people.
That's true. Hey, Erica and Tommy. So you guys are engaged, right? So,
Yes.
Tommy, Erica,
Where we go?
We're there. She's sharing a screen.
Oh, okay. Yes.
You see this right here?
Yes.
So say Tommy gave you this ring.
Beautiful.
Girl.
This lady gave the ring back. It was a $3,000 ring because it was too cheap.
I heard this story.
Would I give the ring back? Absolutely not.
Okay, Tommy, would you give Erica a ring like that?
No, because here's the deal. You have to know your spouse. You have to know your potential spouse. And one of the things that I know how to do very well is
Melinda laughing?
is I don't pay retail for anything, Constance.
Okay.
And I
So that $3,000 ring costs $500.
Yeah, exactly. So in the other part with that is I never invest without investigating. So Erica knows whatever I bring to her is going to be at a level that she would appreciate, just not probably what she thinks it should have been paid for.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about sex. We all grown here. How important is in a relationship on a scale of 1 to 10?
11.
Sex for people who've been married 21 years.
It's important.
Come on.
Yeah.
11 on a scale of 1 to 10 is an 11. All right. What about you? Come, Dex.
Sex is very important.
You said married.
Let's not play. Let's not play. It is.
10?
Oh, yeah, 12. Shit.
12. Who gonna beat the 12? Who gonna beat the 12?
Yeah, I'll raise you a 15.
Already, baby.
No, I feel like sex is so important in a relationship because when you think about it, that is really the only thing that separates your relationship with your spouse or your significant other from your relationship with other people. I mean, you can have great companionship with other people. You can get along great with other people. You can confide in other people. So I feel like that's the one thing that is just between you and your spouse that keeps you connected in that way. And that's what sets you apart from any other relationship that you have in your life. What should.
Yeah.
Send me your cash app, Faye.
You're right. Cash app.
You preach the whole word, didn't she?
Yeah. Well, what I think happens, Constance, whatever is anemic becomes magnified. So, and I know Dexter can attest to this, is that whatever you're lacking in your current situation becomes the next big thing, and we tend to apply what I call the halo effect, meaning that if your last spouse was not very, let's just say they were not
want to have sex.
No, baby, that's not what I was gonna say. Let's say your last spouse was not ambitious. So, but they were good with the kids. They were, they were faithful. They were good with money. So you go and you start looking for an ambitious person, thinking they're going to have all those other attributes that they had that you did like.
80-20.
So you go and you pursue,
Right.
you pursue, and you find somebody that's ambitious, but they don't like kids. They're not compassionate. They're not caring. They don't have those others. So then you like, well, dang, now I need somebody that's compassionate. So you start looking for compassion. You love her ambition. You love her sex drive. She's a beast in the sheets. So then you start looking for somebody who gives a damn, that's compassionate, that likes your kids. So you look for that person, thinking that they still gonna have the other stuff. So I think you have to apply the 80-20 rule. I think for every man on the phone, if it was up to us, it would be every day, all day. But I think you have to come up with a healthy compromise with your spouse, with what works for you guys and what you can agree on.
Yeah. Okay. And so, how long is
Now, Constance, I have to ask: would men really say every day, all day to sex?
Well, not all day, but every day. Ain't nobody turning down no.
Well, this is what we learned. We did a Marriage True group this season. A lot of the men were saying, "I'm tired."
No, Dennis. See, I need to guest host that True group. They probably tired of her. They ain't tired of ass.
Oh my God! I
men of a certain age, they can't even, enjoy it as much as they used to be able to.
Okay, well, again, Constance,
your age can't enjoy it as much as you used to.
I said men of a certain age may not be able to enjoy it as much as they used to be able to enjoy it. Right?
Somebody said sex is substance comments.
They said what?
Somebody posted sex is substance.
Sex is substance.
Constant.
I can't read. I thought it said sex is a substance.
Why can't they enjoy it as much as they used to?
Okay, Wallace.
He done leaned up on you, Constance.
I'm just saying, men of a certain age, have to deal with other issues that they might not be able to perform as much or
some men. Not all men, some men.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but Constance, wait a minute. So what happens is we expend our energy in our youth But in our wisdom, you know, there's other ways to skin a cat, no pun intended. But yeah, you ain't gotta you know, you know, everything's not a marathon. Some things are a sprint, some things are a jog, some things are a power walk. But you still can get your cardio. Okay? You can still get your heart rate up.
What do you say, Erica? Erica, what do you say?
She plays.
I like that, Tommy.
Erica,
Come on.
you ain't got
That is exactly what I said, Tom.
Said Tom.
how long can you go without?
What time is it?
We don't know.
Good answer.
That's crazy.
And that's another thing. I'm not trying to pick on us sisters, but you can't use sex as punishment or withholding of it. Use it as your power. And that's the thing that I think sometimes makes a healthy sexual relationship go awry, because if you're constantly taking it away every time, I mean, you got to learn to give it up through the anger. Give it up.
Through the anger.
Through the anger.
Oh, anger.
If you're mad that day, then the first thing a lot of women want to do, oh, you can't have none. It's like, again, that's your
Tommy's skinning Erica's cat.
Out of control.
No, Stay. I thought you said, Stay. Us sisters got to learn to give it up through the anus. I was like, what?
I said that. Tommy, you know I didn't say that.
Anger.
Okay.
That can't be where all your power is. That's how you're going to punish him. That's how, that's crazy. It's like, why not just go ahead and give it on up, even though you're mad? Maybe you won't be so mad no more. You know what I mean? It's like, that's the thing that I think messes it up.
That's been some of the best times when it's, a little anger in there,
Okay, Ron Osley.
You've been married 21 years, right? 21 years, Dennis and Melinda.
Yes.
Can you still do it angry at each other?
Do it.
What?
Can you guys still do it while you're angry?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Dennis?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So let me say this. Your
immune system. I mean, great to stress reliever. It's almost like a massage,
That'll help you resolve problems real quick. You'll come to
So we're on the same page.
Good understanding.
Yeah, good understanding.
I'm so sorry.
I didn't mean it.
You heard the wrong thing. I did not mean that.
Tommy, what was you going to say?
What I was going to say, one of the reasons I fell in love with Melinda and Dennis, and this had to be probably, Madison is 17, so this had to be 18, 19 years ago. So we had a really, really intensive real estate deal we were working on. And then so Melinda had gotten mad at me and Dennis about something. And so I had made the comment.
I'm trying to think, where is this going?
No, listen, I had made the comment.
I know, right?
I had made the comment, Constance, boy, I guess Dennis ain't going to get none tonight. Melinda was like, hey, that's real estate. That ain't me being mad at Dennis ain't got nothing to do with what I'm going to go home and do to Dennis.
Come on with it, Melinda.
She said, I'm mad at my real estate partner. That ain't got nothing to do with my husband.
Well, let me ask you this, because is everybody here, well, outside of Dexter, because Dexter, you don't have kids, right?
Correct.
So does everybody here, is there blended families going on here?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, everybody. So how are you able to work through that? having blended families, having kids from other relationships? How has it been a challenge for you? Has it been easy? What were some of the challenges that you've had to overcome?
I think it's only a challenge when the kids are smaller. Our kids are pretty much, I have one from a blend that makes our family blended. And so she's 27 now. So there's no issues now. But at the very beginning,
I think it's growing pains.
Expectation. I think the one thing we really didn't talk about was discipline. Because, as a parent or a mom, I'll put it this way, as a mom, you think, you start thinking, okay, do they discipline like you discipline? Do they have the same rules that you have for your children? Even who you allow your kids to be around. Like those are a lot of the conversations that we didn't have. We didn't really resolve beforehand, so they happened in the earlier part of our relationship.
Yeah. What about for you, Day and Wallace?
Okay.
Yeah, we have a blended family, but the biggest thing has been is communication. Getting understanding about similar to what Melinda and Dennis were saying about communication, about discipline, communication about things like that. Because now we only got really one that we have at home. Well, he's not even at home; he's at college. But everybody else is older now. But it was that communication piece was so key to it. So this is how this is, and then we'll have a discussion before we act a certain way or act accordingly how they're acting to do discipline. But that's probably the biggest thing. But everything else, other than that, everything else has been pretty easy because we have that open dialogue all the time.
Yeah.
What about you? Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Erica and Tommy?
Well, you know what? What I want to champion Erica on is Erica doesn't have any kids. And I have a 17-year-old and an 11-year-old from a previous marriage. And Erica has done an amazing job building an independent, organic relationship with each one of my children independently. Both of them, they don't have a big, overly vivacious personality like their dad. They're more quiet, more reserved. They do more watching than they do talking. So Erica has really, really been committed in her own self of building a relationship with them, and that's one of the many reasons I love her so much, because she has extended herself to my kids as though they're on her own.
And I believe that my motivation is because I come from a blended family. And so growing up, I saw things that I would want to do different if I was ever placed in the situation that I was in. And so I believe that that's what pushes me and motivates me. And I have the desire to be their bonus mom and to be there for them and to love them.
That's beautiful. Is it okay to whoop somebody else's kids?
Whoop somebody else's kids as in blended family, or whoop somebody else's kids outside that?
So you marry somebody, and is it okay for them to come in and start whooping your kids?
I don't think that I would have that problem. There's no need, I believe, for me to whoop Tommy's kids. They're great children.
But if they weren't,
yes, I would. We would have that talk, and if I needed to whoop them, I'm sure that there will be a protocol for that.
Okay.
Yeah, put her ass up.
Melissa, what about you?
I don't know what it would be, but I just don't see that being.
See, we had that.
Yeah.
So what?
So what was y'all say?
Well, what happened with us, I've been with Wallace since Ian was 9. And he's 18 now, and me having a 9-year-old boy in the house, and I can't teach him how to be a man. And there were certain things that I felt that Wallace was just more suited for, as far as discipline. And he had his own son who is quite a bit older than Ian, and I felt and saw, I knew his son before I knew him, and his son was a great product of his upbringing. And so Wallace and I had the discussion, but I deferred a lot of that discipline to Wallace because I felt he could be a better disciplinarian to Ian than I could, as a woman. But the thing is, it's not, if you trust someone and that's who you're planning on sharing your life with, you have to trust them with everything, including your kids. So just like we talked about with finances, it's not necessarily the healthiest to have yours and mine. And so it was the same with the kids. And, you know, and Wallace's son lived with us, you know, since we were married. And I talked to him just like I talked to my biological kids. And I think that that's something that has to be discussed, and it looks different for everybody. But for me, I trusted Wallace to be my husband and to be in the home with my kids. Then I'm not going to say, but you can't discipline them. You know,
Have you ever whooped that booty? Have you ever whooped that booty? Say, whoop that booty. The kids. Have you ever whooped the kids?
No, but Wallace has had to whoop Nunny. Wallace has whooped Ian. I'm calling him Nunny. I'm sorry, babe. But no, Wallace has whooped Ian, and it broke my heart. But it would have broke my heart if I had to whoop Ian. I just didn't. But I knew it needed to be done. And so, again, I trusted him. I knew my child was not being abused. And I believe that Ian now is a better 18-year-old because he had that man in the household who was willing to whoop that booty when need be.
Okay, so let me just say this because I want to be as transparent as possible. I trust Dennis to whoop my kid, right? Our kid. No, if you didn't know that we had a blended family, you wouldn't know. Because of their relationship. So I'm gonna say this now on me as the mom. If it was the stepmom, I probably have an issue. I probably would have an issue. I'm just being honest because I feel like I would need to know how they discipline, what that looks like. You know, are they spanking? Are they using a belt? Are they using an extension cord? Or are they putting them in timeout? What's their way? Like, that's what I'm saying, expectation conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's easy to say when it's you trusting the person you're with, and I'm sure her dad would probably say the same thing. Well, I trust my wife or whatever to spank or whatever. But at the same time, okay, where is that coming from? Is it, you know, like, what does it look like? You know, what level is it at before you spank? Are you just popping? You know, you just going off and popping? Or are you having a conversation? Like, those are the type of conversations I would have before, and I would suggest for anybody to have in a blended relationship.
Yes, and I agree because a lot has to do with the ex. So Wallace and my ex have had conversations, and so that's another thing in blended families that makes them healthier is when you know how to navigate the relationship with the exes and hopefully be able to co-parent and people be able to get along. And so, you know, where you're not dealing with the infamous baby mama drama, and it could be baby daddy drama too. And so, like, everybody, because I truly believe it takes a village, but like you said, we have to have those expectation conversations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I know y'all are in Texas, but y'all still using extension cords now?
I just put it out there, but I'm just saying, like,
my mom and them used to say they got beat with extension cords. I didn't know in 2020. No, I
mean, I don't know, but I'm just saying, I've heard some crazy stuff. And even during the pandemic, you hear about all these kids that parents were stressed and they were being abused at home.
Yeah.
So,
and we did have the conversation. I gave Wallace rules. But the funny thing is with that, it would have been the same if it was our biological child. I just didn't like the fact of whoopings, but I realized, you know, it may be something that needs to be done. And I have no problem. Like Melinda, I'm being completely vulnerable. I definitely feel that Wallace has better parenting skills than I do. And so, you know,
would you allow your ex's wife to discipline them? Would you be okay with that? See what I'm saying?
Do I hear a double standard?
That's the thing. I don't trust his judgment. And that's something that is funny though, because I don't, and he knows I don't, but I love the fact that my ex is still, I guess, secure enough to say he trusts my judgment, even though he knows I don't trust his, but he knows I know his background. So no.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's it could be a double standard there. Yeah.
Right. And it depends because like I said, my ex isn't remarried. He's dated. I've never met anyone, but he and Wallace have been able to develop a relationship as far as it goes with our co-parenting. So Wallace actually knows him. He knows Wallace. They've discussed things together about Ian and what needs to happen. I haven't had that opportunity. So I can't say that if he married a woman and was in a serious long-term relationship and I got to know someone, I may have been okay, but I've just never had that opportunity.
Well, you're saying Mary, what if the girlfriend just spanked the kid?
No.
Listen, come
Back in
on.
the day and gone tomorrow. You need
Wallace
to have
said,
skin in the game.
Wallace said, ain't happening. Ain't happening.
Oh
So
my
let me ask you, Dexter, what is a deal breaker in a relationship for you?
Deal breakers have been those damn pesky representatives. Because still, again, I'm putting it out there who I am. I'm telling a lady what it is I want, what it is I'm trying to do. And my job is to expose you to everything I'm trying to aspire to be. I'm hoping that you come in my life, make me a better person than I feel I could be, because that's the aura you bring. But then there comes this dishonesty of not sharing with me who they really were, what they really wanted. So we've gotten off on a wrong foot, and we spent all this time together. And unfortunately, the dishonesty stopped us from really being able to grow, because I don't know who you are, so I don't trust you now. So trust probably is the umbrella word. Trust, nastiness with regards to treating people, how they treat people, looking down on other people. Those are big turnoffs to me. So those are deal breakers. I know that's personality flaws, but I can't handle someone being that way and having intellect or having an astute sense of themselves, but yet that's who they want to represent. Those are deal breakers.
The representative, the good old representative. You know, I would imagine this girl right here who said, "This man texted me, thank you for showing me what it feels like to be loved. I can't wait to make you my wife someday. It's gay shit like that makes me want to cheat." And then someone said, "Man pouring his heart out and you calling it gay, a woman man." And she said, "He is gay. Men should never feel love."
Wow, that's her.
You need help.
Her.
That again, Constance, that speaks to somebody who has been wounded and is now bleeding on somebody that didn't cut her. So somebody really needs to wrap their arms around her and help her unpack her trauma, because there's trauma there.
Yeah. So Tommy and Erica, what's a deal breaker for you?
We go first. A deal breaker for me would be not loving my kids. That would be a deal breaker. Erica is the first person since my divorce that I've ever even allowed around my kids. That's been, my kids have been off limits to everybody but her. But that would have been a deal breaker. With all the amazing things that Erica brings to the table, that would have been a deal breaker. My kid.
Erica, what about you?
Cheating.
Is and that kind of grew into something
What about for you, Tommy? Is cheating a deal breaker for you?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm not that mature. We have a running joke when we when we talk about our past relationships. Erica's answer is nothing, baby. I just been waiting on you. So we laugh about that, but yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, that would I'll give you an example. When I was in the process of going through my divorce, one of the persons that wanted to counsel me, he had called me and he had said, man, listen, you guys can make it through anything. You happen to know some of the lapses in judgment that my wife has had, and I've been able to overcome that. So if I can forgive, anybody can forgive. And I'm like, no. I don't. I'm not that mature. No. I mean, it would hurt, and I would cry all the way home. But no.
What about you? Go ahead.
I would throw up in my mouth and roll around on the ground. But
what about you, Melinda Dennis? Deal breakers.
I think for me it would be like something like domestic abuse or something like that. Yeah.
I would say cheating.
Yeah. Okay. Stay and Wallace.
Definitely cheating, domestic abuse. I mean, any of that where I feel like at any point, for even if it was a moment, a night, or whatever, I was no longer important to you. Anything that you do where I can feel like you dismiss me, that's going to be a deal breaker, because I'm down for you, ride or die. I'm never going to have this lapse of judgment where I forget, what I'm involved in. That's why, for me, entanglement, that is just another word for excuse. I mean, that there's no reason for that. So anything that he would do to make me feel like that at any moment I can be put on the back burner, that's a deal breaker for me.
Somebody grab my baby.
Wallace?
Yeah, for me, it would be cheating also, infidelity and things like that. That's just not good because evidently if you went that way with somebody or got that close with somebody, you developed a relationship because you know how your significant other, your partner, your mate, how they are. And so for them to build that tight of bond with somebody where they would allow that type of intimacy, that means it's done already.
I mean, well, you're saying like building a relationship, but people have cheated and it's been one night stands. That's why I'm saying, that just means a lapse of judgment where I was no longer your priority.
What about emotional cheating?
That's a hell of a lapse of judgment.
Yeah, that's horrible. Emotional cheating, yes.
That's worse than a one night stand. Don't you agree?
I agree.
I think they're about the same.
I'm leaving either way. And probably need to call Erica to come.
You would leave if it was an emotional cheating? What you said, you would leave if it was emotional cheating?
I'm leaving either way because the act, whether it's emotional or physical, that still means I don't know you and I can't trust you. Because emotional, I'm leaving because that means you had something that you needed to share with someone that you felt like you couldn't share with me. And so once it's emotional, then in my mind, you've left already.
Yeah, true.
So if you didn't want to share it with me to begin with, I'm not going to beg you to share it with me now. So I'm gone.
So my final question to you, or my final question to you is this: Black love is such a beautiful thing, and you guys are all beautiful people. What is one thing you would like to celebrate your significant other for?
Say it one more time.
I said Black love is such a beautiful thing, and you all are very beautiful people. What is one thing that you would like to celebrate your significant other for? And then Dexter, then I'm going to have you tell me what you would like to celebrate yourself for. So what is one thing you would like to celebrate your significant other for?
For me, it would be my husband's loyalty and his commitment to our family. He is definitely my for and no more, which means his priority is our family first. So that's what I was celebrating for.
Dennis?
I would say her love and her kindness. She cares for me, I think, more than she cares for herself. And that's the type of person she is. She has a big heart. She's always giving. She's changed me. I used to have a closed hand. She's changed me now to learn to give. And that's a gift that she has, and it has changed my life to understand about giving.
That's beautiful. All right, stay in, Wallace.
Go ahead.
Man, the way she loves me, the way she supports me, allows me to be me. I don't have to be fake and phony with her. I can be who I am, and that's one of the things that I kind of didn't say earlier when that attracted me to her. She allowed me to be me and love me for who I am, and she's my motivation, my inspiration for so much stuff that I do. The drive that makes me want to be a better person, a better man.
And I celebrate Wallace for being able to come into a relationship with a very independent, stubborn, bullheaded woman and be able to have the confidence to step up and be a true leader. And he wasn't afraid to take charge and lead me. I love the fact that he had the tenacity to break through the hard shell and he never gives up. I love the fact I celebrate him for seeing things in me that I don't even see myself. And I cannot thank him enough for bringing out that softer side of Stay that I avoided for so long. And now I embrace it wholeheartedly because of him. And every once in a while he has to rein me back in, but that's why I love him, because he has the confidence and he's willing to do it. He's shown me what a real man is.
All right, Tommy and Erica.
I would say that I want to celebrate Tommy for being on the journey, being Tommy 2.0. and just his continued personal development and being a better person, a better mate, and a better man. And every day he's growing.
Thank you. Thank you, man. What I love about Erica is that whatever I need her to be in the moment, Constance, she is that. If it's a cheerleader, if it's a strategist, if it's an encourager, if it's a whatever, there's two sides to Erica. She is Little Kim as well as Coretta Scott King, and I love the fact that whatever I need, even if I don't know I need it, she gives it to me, and I love her for that. She's amazing, beyond amazing.
I'm not Little Kim. Thank you.
Oh, you Little Kim.
Dexter, and tell me what you want to celebrate yourself for, and also what you're like looking for in a spouse.
Okay, D. Okay, D. Oh.
Because everybody want to hear this. Everybody like we want to. I want Dexter to drop the mic with it. I want him to send it off.
So I'll say this, Constance. I'm happy to be unapologetic about who I am. The confidence in who I am and what my mother instilled in me is still today who I am. So I'm very unapologetic about my happiness. And one of the toughest parts about my journey in this life and discovering people I've met is that I really have found such difficulty in understanding how in the hell can people be unhappy about you being happy. So I'm unapologetic about who I am, the antics I use, or the fun I try to show friends to enjoy themselves and enjoy what I have to offer. The journey I've been on has been an amazing ride. I'm very happy about what things have come my way. What I look for in a partner is wittiness, kindness, intellectual abilities to be able to manage and deal with whatever scenarios come our way, being willing to travel, having her passport ready when I say be there, go to the airport, get your ass on a plane and come to me. And that's willingness to be daring, and that's willingness to be open and have fun. I cannot deal with someone who needs a little time to figure out what the hell she wants, because I really want us to do some things to where we get to a place where we're happy about our success so we can share success with other people. Because as of today, Tommy and I did something really beautiful today to help a young man, a young Black man, do his thing. And I think those are the kind of efforts we, as we talked about in Mexico, those are the things we want to do and we want to be a part of. And so if I had a partner that had that same intention, that same intensity, recognizing we all can be in a very different place, but through hard work and what we've tried to accomplish and things we've tried to do, be humbled by that so that we continue to try to give to others and try to continue this community growth thing. So I like that part, but that's what I want.
They's hearing you for you to get your own show. They want you to be on Voices Network, Dexter. They want you on the network, Dexter.
Yes.
Relationship code. Come on.
Dexter about to be in Hollywood.
Man, I'm trying to. Don't you guys love the transparency? And it's so beautiful. It is so beautiful to see Black love. It's so beautiful to see Black men loving Black women the way that you guys love your women. It is a beautiful, beautiful thing. I appreciate you guys all for coming on today. This has been
Thanks for having us.
Yes, thanks for having us.
I would recommend, because we know that the people out there want more, that you think about doing a part 2 or even a retreat for those who want to attend. They have virtual retreats.
Yes, well, we're
not necessarily have to go anywhere.
We're going to be in Costa Rica at a later part of the year, so we will be doing a retreat, and we will be. Yes.
Okay. Wait. Dexter, you have a phone number. Here's the phone number, Dexter.
9311.
What's that area code now?
Dexter, they want your astrological sign. They want your zodiac sign.
I'm an Aquarius.
When's your birthday, Dexter?
I'm an
Aquarius.
January 20th.
All right.
Dexter, they trying to take you from us.
Love it. Hey, Constance.
Huh?
The same way you brought it when we first met you, You did it again today. So on behalf of this group, I said, let's show love to this lady.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. I didn't have my boy by the side with me, but this has been a great and fruitful conversation. And so I appreciate you guys for being your transparency, because this has been so awesome. We will do a part 2. Y'all want to see this group again and talk about Black love? Because we got so many things we want to talk about and unpack, because it's so necessary that we continue to have these conversations in our community, because building our community is not just about money. It's not just about finances. It's not just about wealth. It's about relationships.
Yes.
Relationship is a new currency. Relationship is going to take us to the next level. And this Black man, Black woman is the foundation of our Black communities. So thank you for being transparent and open. We appreciate you. We love you. We gonna say good night. Good night. Good night.
Yeah, it's CEO. Want to change your life? Come see me, yo. I'ma teach you how to build up wealth for your family, not just for yourself. I'm a bestseller, a house flipper, a businesswoman, a go-getter, a big investor, a goal builder. I can teach you to get richer like millions, baby. You really about to fill your savings. You about to have multiple streams to impact your children, baby. Let me teach you to get your credit on track in the long run. You'll make it all back at Catalyst.